What's up, people? How you guys doing? I hope everybody's having a festive holiday. I am here, guys, really quickly, and really briefly to give you guys a quick breakdown of our five young men that we were fortunate enough to recruit, those three wide receivers and those two tight ends. Let's hop right into the man himself, Ryan Williams, and start with him. All right, one thing I've noticed about Ryan, straight from the top, the guy plays special teams as well, right? Kickoff return, punt return. Love these young men who play kickoff return and punt return. These guys have great athletic ability to be able to play punt return, kick return, and be successful at it. So you gotta love that about the young man. His high school tape looks eerily, almost very scarily like Devontae Smith's high school tape. Not saying he's Devontae Smith, but if you catch Devontae at this same stage of his career, looks very eerily, scarily like Devontae. Long strider, good hands, sinks his hips great. Watching this huddle tape right now where they're going against Clay Chalkville. He has a great play against these guys. Ooh, love this play right here. Kids comes off, pushing vert. We call it pushing vert, mean pushing vertical. Kids comes off the ball hard, gets the DB on his toes. DB flips his hips at the last minute. Ryan comes across his face, boom, hits him for a post route. Great setup by Ryan. Push vert until it's not. Come across the defensive phase, push on his toes, get the defensive back to flip his hips late. Ryan again separates, pushing vert to the post route. Next thing you know, touchdown, Saraland, Ryan Williams. Agility and ability to make the defenders miss and then hit the gas. That's what I love about this young man. Get the defensive back on his toes, set him up, push to his outside shoulder. Defensive back stay in phase too long, flip his hips too long. Ryan comes right across your face, hits the post route, no safety help. Ryan is the subtle things on his tape that makes him great. This kid puts his foot in the ground on a lot of plays I'm seeing right now. Kid has great separation, splits the defense, catches the ball over the middle. And the one thing I want to say about this young man is it's not always the deep routes what I'm watching. It's not always the deep routes. It's not always the routes that we love as fans. It's the subtle things, the mesh routes, the coming across the middle routes, the slants, the sluggos, slant and goes as we call it, right? It's the subtle things that will kill you, man. We call that death by 1,000 cuts. Ryan Williams, a technical receiver, ability to separate, and absolutely great. And we're lucky to have that young man. Next, let's move on to Amari Jefferson. This kid is 6 foot, 200 pounds out of Chattanooga, Tennessee, the Baylor School. Let's see what this kid got for us. Oh, my God. This kid, the one thing I see about this young man, low to the ground, you know what I mean? Comes out of his breaks, gains space, very fluid hips. What I see about this young man being 200 pounds is he has little man feet, but big man catching radius, right? Little man feet, meaning the guy has great footwork and will make you miss, but he has a big man catch radius. Kid go up and get the ball. Kid's very aggressive within traffic. Bigger kid at 200 pounds. See him pushing on skinny post right now. Looks like they're coming out of a single wing set at about 459. Strong hands coming across the middle, and kid has the speed to separate. Love this young man. This kid reminds me a lot of Kendrick Law. Bigger kid that'll catch the ball, kid that you just got to find a way to get the ball in his hands, man. Very solid kid, very strong hand kid that's not afraid to go over the middle. I'm seeing several things on his huddle tape where he could have got his block knocked off and he still caught the ball. So you got to be excited about Amari Jefferson. We're blessed to have that young man as well. Next, let's go to Rico Scott. Shout out to Coach Smoot. This is one of Coach Smoot's favorite guys. Let's check out Rico Scott. What we got? Okay, one thing I'm noticing about Rico from the beginning is this kid on his tape played a lot of running back as well. A lot of running back. So what that tells me as a coach is this kid is used to having the ball in his hands and he's used to contact, right? What I'm noticing is this kid is very good with the ball in his hands, exceptionally good in space, right? High points the ball at an alarming rate. I see his quarterback sometimes in these huddle tapes is basically just throwing the ball up, and Rico is going to get that thing no matter where it's at. So this kid is very good at high pointing the ball. Very ecstatic to have a young man like this. Good speed with this kid, man. To be able to play in the backfield, he understands contact. This kid will lower the shoulder on you too. We don't want to see him do it in college, but this kid is physical. He's one of these young men that will not be afraid of contact. Good speed, good route running ability. I think he's a little bit better than Amari in the route running department. I see This kid looks to be one of those young men that will high point the ball, will climb the ladder and go get the ball. He's a leaper. So definitely excited to have someone like Rico Scott, 6 foot, 185 pounds, out of Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, Bishop McDivitt. Very, very versatile receivers. Each one of these guys seems to bring something different to the table. Let's hop into our tight ends quickly. Next, we have Caleb Odom. This kid is 6'5", 215, 220 pounds, out of Carrollton, Georgia, Carrollton High School. Let's see what this kid brings to the table. Very, very versatile in his route running. You know what I mean? I'm even seeing him block a few times on here. Not many, but a few times. Stems the defensive back, sinks his hips, great hands. I want to see this young man be able to use his body to block out the receivers, not necessarily using his hands, right? When you're a tight end, that big body will come in very, very handy. Most high school kids that play receiver instead of tight end have to learn that at the college level. One thing I did notice about Caleb's tape, I see him playing a lot of X. I hadn't seen him play the Y at all, right? The inline tight end or the H-back tight end. I hadn't seen him play the H-back, fullback-ish, tight end-ish, or the Y inline tight end at all. Every clip I see on him here, he's playing the X, sometimes the Z. You know what I mean? Obviously, all wide receiver positions. I hadn't seen him play the actual tight end position that he'll be playing in college, and that may be a small concern, right? He's going to need some time for weight in the weight room. He's going to need some time to come in and get the strength to block, because we all know in Coach Saban's offense, you'll catch balls, but you got to be able to inline block as well. Kid is a great athlete, the best catching tight end that I've seen on film, period. And I watched a couple of the top tight ends. This kid is pretty much a receiver. He's a tall receiver that grew into a tight end. And I think we are very, very fortunate to have this young man, right? He will be on the field early, put some weight on this kid, get him out there, split him out, especially in the red zone. Definitely climbs the ladder. And finally, let's move on to Jay Lindsey, 6'5", 235, out of Butler, Alabama, Patrician Academy. Now, this kid, I want to say this kid I'm enamored by. I'm enamored by this kid, man, and I'll tell you why. I didn't expect to see the athletic ability that I saw from this kid. I thought he was going to be more of your big inline lumbering kid that'll knock your head off, and that's it. Let me tell you what I noticed about this young man. This kid is more of your modern day Y, right? This kid is 6'5", 235 pounds, played out of a single wing and double wing set. I seen this kid right here on this highlight tape run a backside tight end reverse. Kid blocks well, catches the ball well. Caught several across the formation. And one thing about this kid, Jay Lindsey, this kid is physical. Will knock your block off straight up. Inline tight end, definitely lining up at the flex right here. Definitely playing your traditional Y. Coming off the line of scrimmage, extremely physical kid. Big kid, extremely physical. So this kid will step in and be more of your well-rounded tight end. Not going to run away from too many people. Not a 4-3 guy by any stretch of the imagination, but definitely a kid that has a tight end body already. Definitely physical. Coming off the line of scrimmage, pancaking people all over his tape, different teams, and has good hands. Coming across the middle, catching, probably a 4-7 guy, but definitely one of your more traditional tight ends. Definitely a guy that's versatile enough to catch the ball coming across the formation. Route running needs to be worked on, obviously, when you're that big, as most do coming out of high school. But very fortunate to get this kid who's more of your traditional Y. Love these kids. Love all of these kids and love all of their film. I tell you one thing I noticed about all these young men in the wrap-up. All of these young men bring different things to the game. All of them. You look at their tapes, they all excelled at different parts of the game for their positions, especially at the tight end. You have your pass catcher athlete, you have your inline blocker, and short route guy, right? So I'm very, 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 very in the mode of a Robbie Oots, Amari Jefferson type comparison. So I'm excited about these young men, guys. I hope everyone watches these kids huddle tape and see what I saw. Love all of these young men. Get them in the program. Get them on the weight room. You know what I mean? Let's teach them the system and get them on the field. I appreciate you guys. Please leave a comment in the comment box, because I really want to know what you guys think. If you guys have some ample time, look at these guys' huddle tape, most recent, see what you guys think. Leave a comment below. We all read them. That goes for all of us, from Kyle all the way down to myself, Ty, Coach Jay, and Coach Smook. We all read these comments. So if you guys can leave a comment and tell us what you think, we would be very, very appreciative, man. Once again, this is Coach Shawn. That's at JMHO Sports Talk. That's with myself. Tap in with me. We love to talk with you guys, man. Hope everyone has a great holiday and a happy new year. God be with you all, and roll tide.